If you're a NASCAR fan, you felt it. You felt that shift, that moment where you sit back on the couch and go, okay, something big is happening this season. COTA delivered chaos, bold moves, history, heartbreak, and a statement that might define this entire year. And the craziest part? It wasn't just one story. We got two massive stories out of this weekend in Austin. One race may have rewritten the record books in a way we've literally never seen before in NASCAR history. And the other proved that road course dominance in this sport is very, very real, and maybe even growing. I'm telling you right now, what happened at Circuit of the Americas is going to have ripple effects for the championship picture, for team momentum, and for how we talk about this season moving forward. But before we break it all down, if you're a real NASCAR fan who lives and breathes this sport like I do, hit that like button, subscribe to NASCAR Nation Report. We're a new channel. We're pushing toward our first 6,000 subscribers, and if you love honest NASCAR talk from people who actually watch every lap, you're in the right place. Let's start with news number one, because what we witnessed on Sunday in the Cup race at COTA was straight up historic. Tyler Reddick cannot be stopped. What he just did is something that has literally never happened in the entire history of the NASCAR Cup Series. He won the first three races of the season: Daytona, Atlanta, and now Circuit of the Americas. No driver has ever opened a season 3 for 3 like this. Not in the modern era, not in the old school era, ever. Driving the number 4523 ASCO Racing Toyota, Reddick crossed the finish line about 4 seconds ahead of Shane Van Gisbergen. 4 seconds on a road course against one of the best road racers in the world. And that right there tells you everything about how locked in this team is. Behind Reddick and Van Gisbergen, Christopher Bell came home third, Ty Gibbs fourth, and Michael McDowell fifth. Then you had Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, Ryan Blaney, AJ Allmendinger, and Denny Hamlin rounding out the top 10. That is a stacked top 10. That is not luck. That is Reddick beating the best in the garage. Now let's rewind this race because it wasn't just a cruise to victory. Stage 1 kicked off with Chase Briscoe making it 3 wide into turn 1 with Reddick and Ross Chastain. Bold move. He grabbed the early lead, and the field actually kept it clean at the start, which, at COTA, is almost shocking. Ryan Blaney, who showed insane long-run speed in practice, hunted Briscoe down and took over. He started pulling away by several seconds. Meanwhile, Shane Van Gisbergen started 13th and just started carving through the field like a surgeon. He went from 13th to 3rd, and you could feel it building. Everyone was thinking, okay, this might be his day. As the stage was winding down, we saw strategy start to split the field. Some drivers short-pitted, giving up stage points for track position. Blaney was one of them. That handed the Stage 1 win to Ross Chastain. Behind him, Van Gisbergen, McDowell, Chris Buescher, Allmendinger, Ty Gibbs, Alex Bowman, Chase Elliott, Carson Hocevar, and Denny Hamlin. Stage 2 is where it started getting messy. Blaney cycled back to the lead as others pitted. Van Gisbergen came off pit road leading the group, but he restarted 15th with slightly fresher tires. Then chaos started creeping in. Connor Zilisch got spun in turn 1 after contact from Daniel Suarez. Noah Gragson spun between turn 6A and 6B. Josh Berry looped it mid-pack, but kept going without a full caution. Up front, Reddick took control for the first time since starting from pole. He led until pitting with 3 laps to go in the stage, flipping the strategy to set himself up for the win later. That's veteran-level thinking this early in the season. During stops, Alex Bowman got hit with a pass-through penalty for an uncontrolled tire. Austin Dillon had a broken shifter and spent forever on pit road. Ty Gibbs ended up winning Stage 2, followed by Allmendinger, Suarez, Todd Gilliland, Reddick, Bubba Wallace, Blaney, Cole Custer, William Byron, and Van Gisbergen. Then Stage 3. And this is where the race really turned. Reddick held the lead over Blaney on the restart. Van Gisbergen slotted into 5th. Eric Jones spun in the back but kept rolling. Up front, Larson and Bell were beating and banging hard in a heated battle. Then Chase Briscoe, who had a top 5 car, suddenly slowed with 32 laps to go. Rear-end failure. First car to the garage. That hurt. With 26 laps left, Reddick pitted from the lead. Blaney followed. Van Gisbergen came 1 lap later. And then everything flipped. Ross Chastain, the Stage 1 winner, spun off track because of a loose wheel that actually came off. NASCAR threw the caution. He was held for 2 laps, and there are more penalties coming next week. That completely changed the strategy picture. During that caution, some drivers pitted, but Reddick, Blaney, Van Gisbergen, and Zilisch stayed out on older tires. That was a gamble. And then, something nobody expected. Alex Bowman climbed out of the number 48 Hendrick Motorsports Chevrolet mid-race because he was feeling ill. Myatt Snyder jumped in and finished the race for him. You never like seeing that, and you just hope Bowman is okay. On the restart, Van Gisbergen got around Blaney for 2nd. Zilisch got spun again in turn 1, 2nd time of the race. Zane Smith got collected, and his day basically fell apart. Further back, Kyle Busch got into teammate Jesse Love, which triggered Chris Buescher spinning at the final corner exit. With fresh tires, Christopher Bell muscled his way to 3rd, but up front it was the showdown everyone wanted. Van Gisbergen versus Reddick. The Kiwi closed in. You could see him stalking. But he never quite got the run he needed. And then he faded. Reddick just drove away. The number 45 23WX Racing Toyota absolutely checked out. The race stayed green to the end, even with Carson Hocevar spinning on the final lap and losing spots. 3 wins, 3 races, Daytona, Atlanta, COTA. He's leading the championship standings by a mile already, and it's early. But this feels different. This doesn't feel like a hot streak. This feels like a statement season in the making. And look, I know what some of you are thinking right now. Man, SVG had it. He was right there. That was his track. And yeah, he came up short on Sunday. He chased Tyler Reddick, he closed the gap, he tried to pressure him, but he just didn't have enough in those final laps. But here's the thing. If you're judging Shane Van Gisbergen's weekend only by that 2nd place finish, you're missing the bigger picture. Because less than 24 hours earlier, he reminded everyone exactly who he is. Saturday at COTA, in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series race, he absolutely put on a road course masterclass. That bold 4-wide move into turn 1 after the restart, that wasn't luck. That was instinct. That was elite-level racecraft. So yes, he couldn't take down Reddick in the Cup race on Sunday, but the day before, he owned that track. And honestly, that makes this whole storyline even more interesting. Because now, we're not just talking about a driver who almost won. We're talking about a guy who dominated one race and nearly stole another from the hottest driver in the sport. That's not a weakness. That's a warning to the rest of the garage. Saturday in the NASCAR O'Reilly Auto Parts Series at COTA, Shane Van Gisbergen reminded everyone exactly who he is on road courses. In the Focused Health 250, SVG made one of the boldest moves you'll see all year. With 5 laps to go after the final restart, he was 6th. He dove to the inside into turn 1, made it 4 wide, nosed under Sam Mayer, who had won stage 2. And when Mayer ran wide, that opened the door. SVG cleared them all and took the lead. That move was beautiful, aggressive, calculated, pure road racing instincts. He led 5 times for 31 laps, including the final 5, and beat Austin Hill by 0.780 seconds. Hill, who's been incredibly consistent at COTA with 3 runner-up finishes in 5 starts, admitted SVG is just so good in the first few laps of a run. This was Van Gisbergen's 5th career win in the O'Reilly Series, his first at COTA in that series. And it marked the 10th straight road course win for JR Motorsports. 10th straight. That organization is untouchable on these tracks right now. Sammy Smith finished 3rd, Jesse Love was 4th, Corey Day 5th. Connor Zilisch, who started on pole and led 12 laps in Stage 1, had a brutal day. His left rear brake rotor sheared, forcing repairs. He restarted the final stage 29th and charged back toward the front, only to get spun with under 3 laps left after contact with Corey Day. Zilisch was furious afterward, asking for an apology. 17-year-old Brent Cruz finished 6th in his series debut and even led laps in Stage 2. He became the first driver under 18 to lead laps in the series since Casey Atwood back in 1998. That's wild. William Sawalich, Justin Allgaier, Ross Chastain, and Brennan Poole rounded out the top 10. And post-race inspection was clean, confirming Van Gisbergen as the winner. So, what does all this mean? It means Tyler Reddick is building something historic in the Cup Series. It means 23 Skyline Racing is operating at an elite level. It means Shane Van Gisbergen is still the king of road courses in the lower series and a serious threat every time we turn right and left in Cup. It also means the championship picture is already taking shape. Reddick has momentum. Van Gisbergen has road course dominance. Bell is lurking. Gibbs is consistent. Blaney showed speed. There are storylines everywhere. We are 3 races in, and this season already feels special. Now, I want to hear from you. Is Tyler Reddick on his way to one of the greatest starts in NASCAR history? And how long before Shane Van Gisbergen gets that Cup win at COTA? If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like button, drop your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to NASCAR Nation Report. We're a new channel trying to build something real with true NASCAR fans, and we're chasing our first 6,000 subscribers. If you love this sport the way I do, you're in the right place. I'll see you in the next one.